What is up, everyone? It's Carmen here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you about my first time using the Ava Secrets Menstrual Cup. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I posted that I did an Ava Secrets unboxing, and one of the things that they sent me is their menstrual cup. So one of the first things that I noticed when I opened the cup for the first time is how different it felt. And to be honest, I was really hesitant to try the cup because of how soft it felt. But immediately when I tried it and after using it for a couple of days, I had to come and tell you about this cup. So I'm going to be sharing a review of this cup, but I'm also going to be comparing it to the OG menstrual cup, which is the Mooncup. So the first thing that kind of confused me about this cup is I was like, the packaging is so thin. How small is this cup? But it turns out that the Ava Secrets Menstrual Cup is collapsible, which is really cool because it saves up a lot of space. And that means that it can be stored quite nicely in your purse without really taking up too much space. And without even being it's kind of inconspicuous because the container that it comes in is also collapsible. So when you open the box, this is the container that you will find. This container is a storage container and it's made out of rubber. So this is the storage container and it's so cute. I love the hot pink color. And this is what you will store your menstrual cup in, and you can also use it to sterilize your cup. So I've spoken previously about how to sterilize your cup. You basically want to submerge the cup in boiling water for about 5 minutes. You can also add a natural soap into the hot water. But this is a nice container for when you are sterilizing the cup. If you want it to kind of sit for some time, you can pop the cup in, top it up with some boiling water, and leave it to sterilize for a few minutes. But the cup itself is also collapsible, and that made me extremely nervous because in order for a cup to be collapsible, it has to be quite soft. And so one of the things that is different between the Ava cup and the Mooncup is the firmness of the cup. It's very apparent and very clear from the beginning. And like I said, that made me quite nervous to try this cup because I was confused as to how this cup is going to open inside. So if you've never used a menstrual cup before, or if you're new to this, the way you insert a menstrual cup is by folding it. So you cannot just insert the cup like this. So there are a few different ways that you could fold the cup. The most common types are the C fold, which is when you basically fold the cup and it either makes a C or some people say it's a U fold. The other way that you can fold the cup is with what's called the punch down fold, where you bend the ring down to the base of the cup and then you insert it like that, almost like it's a scoop. The whole point of folding the cup is to make the diameter of the cup smaller so that it's easier and more comfortable to insert. But once the cup is inserted into the vaginal canal, it needs to pop open. And so I was confused as to how this cup was actually going to pop open because it just didn't feel robust enough to be able to open. But I was actually surprised at how well this cup worked. So there was a bit of a difference technically when it came to inserting the Ava cup as opposed to inserting a firmer cup. Usually when I insert a firmer cup, I insert it and then kind of wiggle my fingers down and then push from the base of the cup upwards in order to kind of get the cup to pop open. The Ava cup, because it's much softer, it's a little bit challenging to be able to do that because while you're pushing up, the cup may bend. But I actually found insertion of this cup much easier because what I did was I inserted all the way. And because the cup is so soft, I felt like it was a lot more comfortable to get the cup further up. And once it was in place, I just removed my fingers and then made sure that the cup was open by pressing the bottom of the cup and rotating it. So generally with a firmer cup, it's quite easy to be able to determine if the cup is open, because by running your fingers around the base of the cup, you should feel that the cup doesn't have any dents. The difference with the softer cup is that this cup almost molds to fit you and your own personal anatomy. And so the way that I checked to make sure that this cup was in place was I pulled the cup down slightly and then rotated it a bit as well. And then I was able to feel towards the rim of the cup to make sure that the cup had opened. So just a few points about the Ava cup. It retails for about 200 Rand and it's available at selected retailers. Now, if you just compare these cups based on price, this cup is about 3 times cheaper than this cup. So the Mooncup generally retails for about 600 Rand. Sometimes you can get it for about 400, but it retails anywhere from 400 to 600 Rand, depending on where you are buying it from. And so already there's a big price difference between these two. The other thing about the Ava cup is that it only comes in one size. Now I was a bit nervous about that as well, because especially in the beginning of my period, it generally tends to be quite heavy. And so the capacity of this cup is 18 mils. Whereas if you go for something like a Mooncup, for example, they're different sizes with different capacities. So I was initially nervous about that in the beginning. If you look at the size difference between these two, it's comparable with the Mooncup in the regular size. So size-wise, it's actually pretty similar. Some other things about this cup is that it does have 2 suction holes on either side. So in order for the cup to stay in place, it needs to create a vacuum. And so this cup does have 2 fairly large suction holes on the sides. And I actually think that that is part of why this cup works so well. Because if you look at the suction holes in this cup compared to some other cups, I really think that the diameter of these suction holes make the suction that it creates a lot more sturdy. I also love that this cup is clear. Now there are different colors of menstrual cups and some of them can be quite fun and some of them can be quite attractive just based on the color. But I really love that this menstrual cup is clear as well, because it basically tells me that there's no additional dyes that have been added into this cup. Now, because this cup has a capacity of only 18 mils, if you have a heavy flow, you may need to change it more frequently. However, because of how easy this cup is to insert and remove, you're probably not even going to mind the more frequent cup changes. So I still use reusable cloth pads as backup just in case. But I definitely noticed that this cup did a better job than many of the other cups that I've tried when it came to making sure that it caught all my menstrual blood. And I think that the suction had something to do with it. The length of the cup is also pretty similar, although I have trimmed down the stem of my Mooncup. But one thing that's really interesting about the stem of the Ava cup, especially when you compare it to a lot of other cups, is that the stem is flat, which is a game changer when you are getting ready to remove this cup. So as you can imagine, when it's time to remove the cup, things can get a little bit slippery down there. And you really need to be able to get a firm grip on the end of this cup in order to pull it down. So the way you remove a menstrual cup is, say for example, it's sitting inside the vaginal canal. The way you remove the cup is by initially pulling the cup down so that you can get a good grip of the base of the cup. And then what you would need to do is press the base of the cup to release the suction and then wiggle it down to get it out of the vaginal canal. Now, many menstrual cups have these ridges on them, so to enable you to be able to grip them better. The Mooncup's ridges are also really great, so that makes it very easy to kind of grab onto it and pull it down. But I found that the fact that the stem of the Ava cup is flat makes it even easier to grip hold of this cup and pull it down. So because of how soft this cup is, even if part of the stem is protruding a little bit, it does not feel uncomfortable. So I could probably cut the stem down a little bit, but to me, it's actually not uncomfortable at all. And once this cup is inserted, you don't feel it at all. It's almost magical. So I really want to give as objective an opinion as I possibly can and tell you everything that you need to know, but I really struggle to find something that I don't like about this cup. All in all, my experience using it has been awesome. As using menstrual cups go, sometimes things can get a little bit complicated, but if you are considering getting a menstrual cup, and if you haven't tried this before, and if you're a little bit anxious about how the cup may feel inside and how comfortable it will be, I can definitely recommend that you are going to enjoy using the Ava cup. So have you used a menstrual cup before? And if you have, let me know in the comment section below which brand you tried and which is your favorite menstrual cup to use. I love to post videos about health and wellness and how to live a healthier lifestyle. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video. I do have another menstrual cup that I tried out recently, which is the Salt Menstrual Cup. And so I'm going to be preparing a review for you on the Salt Menstrual Cup as well. But until then, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about menstrual cups, leave them in the comments below. And until next time, take care of yourself and bye.